Hi guys, welcome to Pure Yoga. So today we're going to be working with a little bit of upper body strength, doing plank push-ups, but you can use it where you drop the knees and not a straight body. Feel free to work with whatever your body requires. We're going to be also doing a little bit of breath retention at the start of practice. So come to your knees, bring your seat back towards your feet and your toes untucked. If this isn't comfortable, bring yourself maybe onto some stack books or a block, into a seated position with the legs crossed. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Take a close of the eyes, take a roll of the shoulders up towards the ears and relax them back down towards the hips. Take a moment here to bring yourself present. Scan from the head to the fingers to the toes, checking in with how your body feels as it's arrived in practice, being aware of the tight spots, any injuries you may be looking after. When you've taken a scan of that body, bring your focus to your breath, just watching how you naturally inhale and exhale. If you can start to take those breaths a little deeper in and a little longer out, maybe using the whole of that torso to breathe into the belly, the rib cage and the chest. Noticing any thoughts or emotions that you're holding. And let's hope that every little bead of sweat that you drop today, you're letting go of something that no longer serves you. Opening the eyes. Take a breath in, raise the hands to the ceiling, interlace the fingers at the top, hold the breath, turn the palms up. Out breath, lower the hands back down towards the thighs. Breath in, raise the hands, interlace fingers, hold the breath, turn the palms up. Out breath and lower the hands back towards the thighs. 3 more of those. Raise the hands, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up, hold the breath. Out breath, lower the hands back towards the thighs. 2 more. Raise the hands, interlace, hold breath, turn the palms up. Lower the hands back down towards the mat on your out breath. 1 more of those. Raise the hands up, interlace, turn the palms, hold the breath. And release those hands back down towards the thighs. Make your way onto your hands and knees, tabletop position. Heel of the hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Taking retention breath on the end of your exhale. Breath in, lifts the bum, lifts the head, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold it in, we hold the breath at the bottom with the spine lifted to the ceiling. Breath in, lifts the head, lifts the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold it back in and retain the breath and hold that flexion. Breath in, lifts the head, lifts the bum, drops the belly. Breath out and we fold, retain, inflection. 1 more of those. Lift the head, lift the bum, drop the belly on an inhale. And your exhale, we fold and hold the breath at the bottom of the exhale. Come back to a neutral position, tabletop. We're now going to take the retention in the top of our exhale. Reaching the right hand forward, sending your left toes to the back of the mat, squeezing the left bum cheek to raise the left leg up to hip height. Take a breath in. Out breath, elbow to knee. In breath, lengthen back out, hold the long line, hold the breath. Out breath, elbow to knee. In breath, long line and retain that breath. Out breath, elbow to knee. In breath, long line and retain. Last one. Out breath, elbow to knee. In breath, long line and retain. Out breath, bring hand down, knee down. opposite side. Left hand forward, right toes back, squeeze the right bum cheek to raise the right leg up. Take a breath in. Out breath, elbow to knee. In breath, long line, and retain the breath. Out breath, elbow to knee. In breath, long line, and retain. Elbow to knee. In breath, long line, retain. Last one, elbow to knee. In breath, long line, retain. Bring the left hand down, right knee down, take a rock of the hips. Reach the hands forward, sink the chest towards the mat and the hips are lifting high. Forehead comes to the floor if it reaches, just stretching through those shoulders, preparing those shoulders ready for our strong work of planks back to down dog. Maybe turn the head in both directions, bringing it back to a centre space when you've done so. Take another breath in puppy pose, hips high, chest low. Then bring yourself back to a tabletop position first. Step back to plank. Lift the hips, find down dog. Maybe have a nod, shake of the head, maybe a paddle of the feet in our first downward facing dog position. And then bring those heels to a stillness, encouraging those heels back. We will take a vinyasa at the end of left and right sides to seal the end of each flow. But at the moment we're going to be doing forward to plank, lower to a hover, back to plank and back to down dog. Come forward, inhale, drop the knees and lower to a hover. Lift back up, back to plank and back to down dog. And again, forward, inhale, drop knees, lower to a hover. Lift back up, plank, back to down dog. One more of those. Forward, drop knees, lower. Lift back up, plank, back to down dog. Take a nod, take a shake of the head. Maybe another paddle through the feet. Preparing for our first part of our flow. Left foot stays grounded as your right leg lifts. Keep both hip bones level, squeezing the right bum cheek to raise that right leg up high. Left heel squeezes back. Bring that knee to the chest and the shoulders over the heel of the hands and squeeze the knee in tight towards you. Hip flexor compression. And then raise that right leg back up, both hip bones level, squeeze the bum to lift the leg high. Then step your right foot through in between the hands. Keep the hips low, chest on the thighs as you reach forward with the arms. Then as you use the back muscles, lift the torso to find our crescent lunge. Relax through the shoulders, long through the arms, down into the feet, low into the hips. On an out breath, cactus the arms and lift up with the chest. In breath, raise the hands back up. Start to lean back forward with the torso, with the arms nice and long still. The long levers challenges the muscles. And then bring the hands to plant. Step right foot back, lift the hips and squeeze the heels back. We're going to take plank back to down dog again. Come forward to plank. Choice to drop the knees if you wish or lower to a hover. Push back up to plank and back to down dog. Two more of those. Forward, lower, drop knees if you wish. Lift, down dog. Forward, inhale. Lower to hover, exhale. Lift back up, inhale. Back to down dog, exhale. Weight stays in your right foot as your left leg lifts. Try and keep both hip bones nice and level. Squeeze the left bum cheek and push the right heel down. Bring the knee towards the chest and the shoulders over the heel of the hands. Hold that space nice and strong, pushing into those palms, the chest away from the mat. Raise that left leg back up, squeeze the bum at the top. Then bring your left foot forward in between the hands, plant the hands, keep the chest on the thighs, stabilise the feet. Reach the arms forward first, long line from heel to fingertips, and then lift the torso up to find your crescent lunge. Arms long, shoulders relaxed, hips low, push into those feet. On your next out breath, cactus the arms and lift the gaze, lift the chest. In breath, raise those hands back up. Start to lean back forward with the torso, arms long still as that chest comes to that thigh. And then plant the hands flat, step the left foot back. Hold plank for a breath. Then lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. 3 planks back to down dog. Forward inhale and lower hover exhale. Lift back up to plank inhale, down dog exhale. 2 more of those. Forward, lower, lift, down dog. Last one. Forward, lower, lift, down dog. To seal the end of those 2 sides, let's take a vinyasa. Forward to plank, inhale, release to the floor or a hover exhale. Lift up with the chest, inhale. Find your variation back to down dog. Either that extra breath with chest back to thighs or rolling straight over the toes, lifting the hips and squeezing the heels back. We have another flow, both right and left sides. Weight stays in your left foot as your right leg lifts, hips stay neutral, and we squeeze that left heel down. Then bring that right knee to right elbow and hold that space, squeezing the outside of the bum cheek on the right hip to keep that leg lifted. Raise that right leg back up, hips stay level, and then step your right foot through. Chest stays on the thigh as you reach forward with the arms first. And then from this position, use the muscles in the back to raise up to crescent lunge. Out breath, cactus the arms and lift up with the chest. In breath, reach both hands back up. We're going to do retention breath forward into aeroplane pose, hold at the bottom of the breath and then lift back up. Take a breath in. Breath out, forward to aeroplane, retain the breath, hands back. Breath in, lifts back up. 2 more of those, forward. Hold the breath at the bottom. In breath, lift yourself back up. 1 more of those, forward, retain, arms back. In breath, lift back up. Out breath, cactus arms. In breath, raise both hands back up. And then start to lean forward with the torso to bring the chest to the thighs, arms stay long. And then plant the hands, step back to plank. And from plank, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Forward to plank and back to down dog. Come forward, inhale, lower to hover, exhale. Lift back up, inhale, back to down dog, exhale. 2 more, forward and lower. And lift, down dog. Last one, forward, lower, lift, back up. Taking our left side, weight stays in your right foot, left leg lifts. Keep both hip bones level, right heel squeezing back. Then bring the left knee to the left elbow and hold that space, squeezing through that hip flexor on the left and the outside of the left bum cheek. Raise that leg back up, squeeze the right heel down. Step your left foot through in between the hands. Chest stays on the thighs as you reach forward with the arms first. And then start to lift up with the torso. Out breath, cactus the arms, lift up the chest. In breath, raise both hands back up. Out breath, lean forward, send the arms back and retain the breath at the bottom of the out breath. In breath, raise the hands back up. Out breath, forward, retain the breath. In breath, raise back up. Last one, forward, retain, arms back. In breath, raise back up. Out breath, cactus the arms. In breath, lift back up. Then fold towards that left thigh, keeping the arms long. Then plant the hands, step back to plank. Lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Forward to plank, back to down dog. Forward, inhale, lower exhale. Lift back up, inhale, back to down dog, exhale. 2 more of those, forward. Remember the knees dropped makes it a little easier. Lift back up, back to down dog. The longer the body, the harder it is. We have no support if those knees don't drop. And lift back up. Let's seal the end of that right and left side with a vinyasa. Forward to plank, inhale, lower to a hover or floor, exhale. Lift back up, inhale. And all meet back in down dog, either chest to thighs or rolling over the toes, lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Come down onto the knees, take a moment in child's pose to bring your attention back inwardly, ready for our standing balances. There'll be lots of warrior 3 poses with different arm variations for this practice. Just allow the body to become steady, the breath to steady, and that mind to switch into focus. And as you start to lose fluids from the body as the body warms up, think of it as a detoxification of anything that you no longer need, no longer serves you. When you're ready, meet me back in down dog. Stepping both feet back, lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Your weight stays in your left foot and your right leg lifts. Keep both hips nice and level. Heel of the left squeezing down. Then bring that right knee across the torso into the left elbow and hold that space. Reach back up with that right leg. Step that right foot then through to the front of the mat. Chest stays on the thigh as you first of all reach forward with the arms. Use the muscles in the back to raise the torso up. Out breath, cactus the arms. In breath and lift the arms back up. Bring the arms to shoulder height. Right elbow under the left. Bend the elbows, bring back of hands together or find a double wrap. Then reach the elbows up as high to shoulder height as you can. Step forward onto your right leg, bringing your left knee through and up to hip height. If the arms are dropped, raise them back up. Find a focal point first here. Then start to lean forward with the torso, back with the left heel. You can stay at 45 degrees if you wish, or take it to 90 if you can find it without that left hip lifting. Keep the left toes pointing down, standing through that right leg, pushing into that right foot firmly to root. One more breath in Warrior 3 with Eagle Arms. Start to lift back up with the torso. It challenges it when you've bound the arms. You have nothing to counterbalance if you wobble. One more breath here. And then slowly step your left foot back, keeping the arms bound until those left toes plant and you find yourself back in crescent lunge legs. On an in-breath, circle the arms up towards the ceiling. On an out-breath, cactus the arms and lift up with the chest. In-breath, raise the hands back up. Out-breath, lean forward with the torso to that thigh of the right. Bring then the arms down to plant. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Lift up with the hips. Squeeze the heels back, down dog. Plank back to down dog, push-ups. Forward to plank, lower to a hover. Lift back up to plank and back to down dog. 2 more, forward, lower, lift, down dog. Last one, forward, lower, lift, and back to down dog. Have a nod, have a shake of the head, ready to take your left side. Weight stays in the right foot, your left leg lifts, hip bones level, right heel squeezing down. Bring the left knee across the body towards the right elbow, squeeze and hold that space. Raise then that left leg back up, squeeze the right heel back down. Bring your left foot through in between the hands. Chest stays on the thigh as you reach forward with the arms. Then use back muscles to lift up with the torso. Cactus the arms and lift up with the chest. And reach back up with the arms. Bring them forward in front of you, left elbow under right. Find back of the hands or double wrap, find palms. Lift the elbows up, find a focal point. Step forward onto your left foot and bring your right knee through and up to hip height. Lift the elbows back up to shoulder height if they've dropped. Then leaning forward with the torso, back with the right heel. Remember you can stay at 45 or bring yourself lower to 90 without that right hip lifting. Feel like you could stand a dinner plate on that lower part of the back. Nice and firm into that standing left leg. The arms bound, stops you flapping with the arms, but it does mean you have to find strength from elsewhere to find the balance. Right leg nice and straight. And then on an inhale, make your way back through with right knee lifting to hip height and lift the elbows back up. Keep the arms and then slowly step your right foot back with grace, bending into your left knee, planting the toes and lifting back up with the arms. In breath, raise the hands back up. Out breath, cactus the arms. In breath, raise the hands back up. Out breath, bring the chest to thighs, arms are long levers. And then bring the hands to plant. Step back, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Plank and down dog variation. Forward, inhale, lower to hover, exhale. Lift back up, inhale, and back to down dog, exhale. 2 more, forward, and lower, and lift, down dog. Last one. Remember, regressing it isn't anything bad. It means you're listening to your body if it needs a little help. Finish and seal that flow with a vinyasa. Forward to plank, inhale. Lowering chaturanga or floor, exhale. Lift up with the chest, inhale. And find your way back. Lifting up of the hips and a squeeze of those heels back. Take a nod, take a shake of the head. Relax through the shoulders, relax through the neck. Bring your knees down, bring your big toes together, your seat towards your feet, forehead to the mat. Take a moment here, in child's pose, just to restore that breath. Ready to take our next flow of warrior 3 with a different arm variation. That may be reverse prayer or grabbing opposite elbows with opposite hands. Make your way up onto your knees and your seat back towards your feet. We're going to take a little bit of breath retention here on our inhale, holding at the top. Arms down by the sides of the body, very the same as what we did at the beginning of practice. It just calms the mind again. Breath in, raise the hands, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up, hold the breath at the top. On an out breath, release the hands back down towards the mat. Breath in, raise the hands, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up, hold the breath at the top. Out breath, release the hands back towards the thighs. 3 more. Breath in, raise the hands, interlace, turn the palms up, hold the breath. Taking a slightly longer hold with that breath on these last 3. Out breath, release the hands back down towards the thighs. 2 more, lengthening the hold at the top. Interlace, turn the palms up, hold that breath. Out breath, release the hands to float back down towards the thighs. Last one, lift, retain, turn the palms up. Out breath, allow the hands to float back down towards the thighs. Let's make our way back into our downward facing dog. Ready to take the flow of our different variation of warrior arms. Lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Have a nod, have a shake of the head, maybe a paddle of the feet. Take a good long deep breath in. And a long sigh out through the mouth. Weight stays in the left foot, right leg lifts, both hips nice and level. And then bring that knee to the chest and the shoulders over the heel of the hands and hold that space. Then lift that right leg back up, left heel squeezes back. Right knee to right elbow and hold that space. Keep squeezing that knee towards the upper arm on that right side. Raise that leg back up. Bring that knee across the torso into the left elbow and hold. Raise that leg back up. Then step that right foot through in between the hands. Stabilize the feet, chest stays on the thighs as you reach forward with the arms first. And then lift up with the torso. Cactus the arms, lift the chest. Come back to high arms. Turn the palms forward, bring them down to cactus arms. Turn the palms back, bring them behind your back, either finding opposite elbows if you wish, or finding a reverse prayer. From this position, step your left foot slightly forward and drop your left heel to the mat and straighten both legs. Take a long breath in, lift the chest, take a slight back bend. On an out breath, fold towards that right thigh, bringing that chest down, head down. And if you've got reverse prayer, push the lower part of the palm together. Bring your left hip forward and your right hip back. Open through the chest, finding that long line through the torso. Abdominal contraction to bring that body a little closer towards that right leg. Then start to lift back up to standing. And from a standing position, step your foot forward and bring your left knee through up to hip height, preparing for our warrior 3 with our hands bound around our back. Start to lean forward with the torso, back with the left foot. Remember, you can stay at 45 or take it to 90 without that left hip lifting. Crown of the head reaching forward, left heel pushing on an imaginary back wall with the left toes pointing down. Squeeze the shoulders together. If the palms are together, squeeze them together also. Then start to lift back up, bringing your left knee back through and up to hip height. Keep your focus here, keep the bind of the hands, and then slowly stepping your left foot back with grace to plant the toes to the back of the mat and bend into your right knee. Let the arms become heavy to the floor first. Then reach up on an inhale. Cactus the arms on an exhale. Lift back up, inhale. Let the chest come to the thighs with the arms long, exhale. Then plant the hands flat. Step your right foot back. Lift up with the hips, squeeze the heels back. Down dog. We'll take plank back to down dog. Strength work for the shoulders. Breath in to plank. Breath out to lower. Lift back up, back down dog. 2 more of those. Forward, remember you can drop the knees, lower, and lift, back to down dog. Last one, forward, lower, lift, down dog. Long breath in, long breath out, ready to take on your left side. Breath in, your left leg lifts, hips neutral, right heel squeezing back. Bring the knee to the chest, shoulders over the heel of the hands, and hold that space. Reach then that left leg back up. Bring your left knee to left elbow and squeeze that space. Raise that leg back up. Bring left knee to right elbow, cross the torso, slight twist through the waist. And reach that leg back up. Bring that left foot back through in between the hands. Stabilise first, reach the arms forward, keeping the chest on the thigh. Back muscles work to lift that torso up. Cactus the arms and lift up with the chest. And reach the hands back up. Palms are forward, cactus the arms, turn the palms down. Bring them behind the back to find bind to opposite elbow or your reverse prayer. Whatever works for your shoulders right now. Step your right foot slightly forward, and drop the right heel towards the mat. Level your hips forward to the front. Take a long breath in, lift the chest, take a slight back bend. Out breath, fold towards that left thigh. Use the breath to find the depth. Use the abdominal contraction to pull you a little further down. Try and create length. If that right hip has started nudging back, bring it back forward and send the left hip back. One more breath here in your forward fold. On your next breath in, lift the torso back up. Come on to your left leg and bring your right knee through and up to hip height. Create space across that front body. Start to lean forward and find your version of Warrior 3. It may be 45, it may be 90. Don't let the right hip lift. Keep the gaze on something that's not moving. Keep nice and concentrated with your focus. Your right leg is straight, pushing that foot on that imaginary back wall. Then start to lift back up with the torso, bringing your right knee back through, up to hip height. Then graciously stepping your right toes back, bending your left knee, planting your right foot back. Stabilise into your crescent lunge first, and then let the arms hang down to the mat. Raise up with the hands. Cactus the arms, lift the chest. Raise the hands back up. Lean forward, chest to thigh. Arms long, long levers make it more challenging. And bring the hands to plank. Step your left foot back. Lift up the hips. Squeeze the heels back, down dog. Forward to plank, inhale, lower to hover, lift back to plank, back to down dog. 2 more of those, forward, lower, lift back to plank, back to down dog. Last one, forward, lower, lift, down dog. Let's seal the end of that practice now with a vinyasa. Coming forward to plank, inhale. Lowering, hover or floor, exhale. Lift up with the chest, inhale. And find your variation back to down dog. On your exhale, have a nod, have a shake of the head. Take a good long deep breath in. Long sigh out through the mouth, maybe stick that tongue out. Goodbye breath to that practice. Coming down onto the knees, Swinging the feet around then to the front of the mat, bum into the centre. We're going to start to slow things down. Remove flesh from under the sit bones. Toes back towards the shins. On an in-breath, raise both hands up. On an out-breath, cactus the arms and lift up with the chest. In-breath, raise both hands back up. Out-breath, lean forward with the torso, bringing the hands to where they reach. Take another breath in, lift, push the rib cage forward. Breath out, and abdominal contract over the thighs. Breath in, raise both hands back up. Breath out, cactus the arms and lift up with the chest. Breath in, both hands back up. Breath out, lean forward towards the thighs. Breath in, lift up halfway. Breath out, abdominal contract, may become a little deeper. Breath in, raise both hands back up. Breath out, cactus the arms, lift up with the chest. In breath, both hands back up. Last round, forward and fold, out breath. In breath, half lift. Out breath and fold. In breath, raise both hands back up. Out breath, plant hands flat by the sides of the body. Grow tall through the spine, relax through the shoulders, active through the legs, pushing those thighs down and into the mat. Finding our staff pose for a few breaths. Reaching the arms forward to shoulder height and slowly lower yourself down to a space that feels challenging for you. When you get to that space, take a couple of easy breaths here, holding this place for the count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way to the mat. Bring the arms down by the sides of the body. Bring a bend into both knees. Make sure you have space behind you. Knees are hip width apart, as are the feet. We're going to take some breath retention on the top of the inhale here when we go up into bridge. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Breath in, lift the hips, reach the hands up and over, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up, hold the breath. Out breath, bring the hands up and over and the hips back towards the mat. We have 4 more of those. Breath in, raise the hips, hands up and over, interlace, retain breath. Turn the palms up. Breath out, bring the hands back up and over and the hips back towards the mat. 3 more with a slightly longer hold in the top of the breath. Lift the hips, hands back, interlace, turn the palms up, hold the breath. Out breath, hands back up and over, hips back to the mat, hands back to the floor. 2 more, breath in, raise the hips. Hands up and over, interlace the fingers, retain the breath, push the hands up. Long out breath as the hips come back towards the mat, as do the hands by the sides of the hips. Last one, raise the hips, raise the hands, interlace, retain, turn the palms up. Out breath, bring the hands back up over the head, hips back to the mat, hands flat. Right ankle onto the top of the left thigh and turn the knee out to the side. Bring the left knee in towards you, hands around that left leg. Take a hold of the left thigh, push your right elbow into your right knee to turn it out and push that left heel up towards the ceiling to straighten through that left leg. Relax the shoulders and the jaw and the muscles around the neck. Bring that left foot back to plant. Let the right knee cross fully over the left leg. Bring the knees then in towards the chest. Take a hold of the outside of the feet and then just draw the knees in, open the feet out to opposite sides. And just feel that stretch, cow pose, legs in supine position. Getting into the outside of the hips, the IT bands. One more breath in this stretch and then we'll take the opposite side. Release the feet back to the mat. Bring your left ankle onto the top of the right thigh, turn the knee out. Bring your right knee in, take a hold of that thigh, push your left knee out with the left elbow and send your right heel up towards the ceiling, stretching down that back chain of the right leg. Stretching into the outside of the left hip. Relax the shoulders, the jaw and the muscles around the neck. Then bringing a bend back into your right knee. Let that left leg fully wrap over the right. Bring the knees into the chest. Take a hold of the outside edges of both feet. Draw the knees in, pull the feet out to left and right sides opposite. Cow pose legs again in supine position on the opposite side. Notice where you feel your stretch. Maybe it's outside of hips, maybe it's outside of thighs. Draw the feet in a little closer and the knees closer to the chest. One more breath in this space. Then release the feet. Plant them to the mat. Drop the knees out to the side, soles of the feet together, and just rock those knees from side to side. Just give yourself a little self-massage in that lower spine, maybe abdominal contracting to get into that mid-spine around the waist. And then let everything come to stillness. Gravity take the legs, get that stretch on the inner thighs. Another couple of breaths here. And then letting the arms come down by the sides, the feet come long, mat width apart. Drop the feet out, externally rotate the hips, turn the palms up, externally rotate the shoulders. Create space along the back of the neck, maybe turning the head, getting some movement through that cervical spine. Then close the eyes, relax the jaw, take a long breath in. Long sigh out. Let the floor support you. Following that breath, your natural automatic breathing pattern. Noticing whether the skin feels slightly damp from its perspiration, its sweating. That slight detoxification of the body. Letting toxins out, drawing good nutrients in as we move through our practice. Knowing that stepping onto the mat today will make your day better or your sleep better. Whatever time of day you have done this, it will work for whatever you need to do after. So your choice can be to stay here if you wish and pause me now and have a little longer in relaxation. If you're coming with me, starting to wriggle the fingers, the toes, rotate wrists, rotate ankles. Reaching the hands then up and over the head, stretching through the fingers, arching through the back, stretching through the toes, flaring through the ribs. And then bringing the hands in and over, wrapping them around those thighs. And maybe have a little rock of that body from side to side. Then taking a hold of the creases of the knees, because we've been a little more active, we're going to rock up and down that spine a few times. Up to sit once, back down, up to seated twice, back down. And the next time you come to a seat, find your legs in a cross position or on the knees if you wish. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. On a breath in, reach the hands up to the ceiling, palms together at the top. Out breath, bring the hands to the chest and a soft gaze to the floor. Breathe in wisdom and peace. Breathe out love and joy. From my heart to yours. Namaste.